नाजरीन, आप देख रहे हैं रियासत का मशहूर व मकबूल यूट्यूब चैनल बज़्म आई ना वकील साहब पोस्ट। सैयद कुदरतुल्लाह खादरी वकील साहब एक बार फिर करनूल की इंतहाई ज़रूरी अहम ख़बर के साथ आपके रूबरू हाजिर है। ख़बर ये है कि आज करनूल में वाक़ रायलसीमा यूनिवर्सिटी में वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन पर सेमिनार मुनक़िद किया गया। इस मौके पर मेहमान ख़ुसूसी यानी चीफ गेस्ट की हैसियत से ऑनरेबल चीफ जस्टिस श्री बी कृष्णा मोहन, जज हाई कोर्ट ऑफ आंध्र प्रदेश अमरावती ने शिरकत की, जबकि गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर की हैसियत से श्रीमती पी रजनी, ऑनरेबल उपलोकायुक्त ऑफ यूपी करनूल ने शिरकत की। साथ ही साथ प्रोफेसर श्री वेंकटा बसवा राव, वाइस चांसलर रायलसीमा यूनिवर्सिटी ने भी गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर के तौर पर शरीक रहे। ये प्रोग्राम की सदारत श्री बी पुरुषोत्तम रेड्डी, एडवोकेट सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया, वाइस प्रेसिडेंट ऑल इंडिया बार एसोसिएशन, कन्वेनर एशिया पैसिफिक ज्यूरिस्ट्स एसोसिएशन ने मुनक़िद की। इस मौके पर वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन पर तफसीली तौर पर सेमिनार किया गया। बहुत सारे लोगों ने वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन के फेवर में बात की, तो बहुत सारे लोगों ने वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन की मुखालिफत में भी बात की। काफ़ी बेहतरीन अंदाज में सेमिनार मुनक़िद किया। इस सेमिनार को आप मुकम्मल तौर पर देखें ताकि वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन की ज़रूरत है या नहीं है आप ही डिसाइड कर पाएँ। आप देखिए ये खुसूसी रिपोर्ट। सैयद कुदरतुल्लाह खादरी वकील साहब को दीजिए इजाज़त। अगर आप हमारे चैनल को अब तक सब्सक्राइब नहीं किए हैं तो ज़रूर सब्सक्राइब करें, लाइक करें, शेयर करें, कमेंट करें, बेल बटन दबाना ना भूलें ताकि लेटेस्ट वीडियोस आप तक बआसानी से दस्तयाब हो सके।
So it has to, but the utmost benefit of the utmost public. With this, I will conclude my seminar, and I would like to thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Vice Chancellor of the Lions.
I would like to stress on one point that we all are advocates community is here, and with the advocates and
ఇంకా నాది కూడా ఉంది, ఉండండి కొంచెం.
Elections to the Lok Sabha and state assemblies are held together. But over the time, because of some constitutional contingencies, this system of staggered elections occurred. Therefore, one nation, one election is not a new idea. But the main reason we support this idea is better governance. When elections occur almost periodically in one part of the country or other, they have certain undeniable consequences. They involve huge expenditure, continuous deployment of administrative machinery, and prolonged enforcement of model code of conduct. This often leads to delays in development works and day-to-day administration. Conducting elections together could save money, time, and manpower. A single well-organized election may encourage better public participation also. The idea of one nation, one election has feasibility to achieve the objectives, reducing the election expenditure, minimize disruption to administration, enable governments to focus more on development and stable governance. However, democracy is not about efficiency, but also about accountability. Accountability demands that we also examine the constitutional role of elections beyond administrative convenience. India is a federal and diverse republic. State elections are not merely administrative events, they are expressions of regional priorities and local aspirations.
Today's topic, One Nation, One Election. As you all know, to say in the simplest form, conducting of simultaneous elections for the parliament and as well as the state assemblies across the country. I have also prepared a brief note about this, gathering relevant material, you all know. But because today's topic is designed in such a way, let me go through that. And about the previous experience of this country, the present experience, the relevant constitutional provisions, the High Power Committee recommendations. At a glance, I would like to place before you. This One Nation, One Election, that means simultaneous elections for Lok Sabha and state assemblies. The concept of One Nation, One Election refers to synchronizing elections for the Lok Sabha and all the state legislative assemblies across the country so that they are held simultaneously once in every 5 years. This aims to streamline the electoral process, reduce costs, and minimize the disruption caused by frequent elections. However, the feasibility of implementing the same in a vast and diverse democracy like ours necessitates a thorough evaluation of its legal, administrative, political, and socio-economic dimensions. Once the topic is coined as One Nation, One Election, immediately it reflects to me three things: the democracy, the constitution, and the people's mandate. India is the world's largest democracy, not merely because of its population, but because of the depth of its constitutional commitment to representative governance. Elections are not ceremonial events. They are the constitutional mechanism through which the will of the people is translated into authority. The proposal of One Nation, One Election must therefore be examined not as a matter of administrative convenience, but as a constitutional question touching the core of democratic choice. What is the meaning of democracy under our Constitution? Democracy in constitutional terms means popular sovereignty. It signifies that all power flows from the people and remains accountable to them. The preamble declares Bharat to be a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. It establishes that governments exist by mandate, not by entitlement. Authority is derived, limited, and renewable only through the will of the people. Elections, therefore, are not for political parties. They are for citizens to choose their representatives so that governance reflects the will of the electorate, not the convenience of the rulers. It is interesting to note that the concept of simultaneous elections is not new to this country. Post-adoption of the Constitution of India initially held simultaneous elections for the Lok Sabha and state assemblies from 1951-52 to 1967. However, due to the premature dissolution of certain legislative assemblies, this synchronization was disrupted. In 1970, the fourth Lok Sabha was itself prematurely dissolved and fresh elections were held in 1971. As a result of all such premature dissolutions and some extensions, that is, fifth Lok Sabha term was extended till 1977, the cycle of simultaneous elections has been disrupted. Since then, elections have been held at different times in different states at the national level, resulting in a near continuous election cycle somewhere in the country. India's electoral experience since independence, if you see the parliamentary elections since 1952, there were total general elections to Lok Sabha held so far between 1952 to till recently 2024, they are 18 times. These elections span over more than 7 decades of constitutional democracy. This static alone demonstrates that India is not election heavy by design, but by compulsion arising from political instability and constitutional contingencies. How many Lok Sabhas completed a full 5-year term? If you look at, out of 18 Lok Sabha elections, only about 10 Lok Sabhas completed their 5-year full tenure. Nearly 8 Lok Sabhas were dissolved prematurely, leading to midterm elections. That is 4th Lok Sabha, 5th Lok Sabha, 6th Lok Sabha, and 9th Lok Sabha, 10th Lok Sabha, 11th and 12th. They were all premature dissolutions. Frequency of midterm elections, approximately 40 to 45% of Lok Sabhas did not complete their full term. Each premature dissolution triggered a nationwide election, disrupted governance, reset the electoral cycle for states. Simultaneously, assembly elections now occur almost every year, often in multiple states, resulting in repeated imposition of the model code of conduct, continuous election mode, administrative and governance disruption. This factual background explains why the question of synchronization has re-emerged. These are the circumstances for the re-emergence of this synchronization of elections. This term of House of People and State Legislative Assemblies, if you look the constitutional provisions, Article 83 deals with the term of both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Clause 2 of Article 83 provides for a term of 5 years for Lok Sabha from the date of its first sitting unless dissolved earlier. The proviso to Article 83 subclause 2 provides that when a proclamation of emergency is in operation, the term of the House may be extended for a period not exceeding 1 year at a time by Parliament by law and not extending in any case beyond a period of 6 months after the proclamation has ceased to operate. Similar provision is also available for the state legislative assemblies under Article 172, Clause 1 of the Constitution. This clearly states that the term of the House may be dissolved prematurely but cannot be extended. Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies, if you look at Article 85(2)(b) of the Indian Constitution provides the President with the power to dissolve the Lok Sabha. Similar provision
Reform whose time has come. This debate is not about which party benefits. It's not even about winning the next election. It's about how often the nation must stop governing in order to keep voting and whether our democracy can mature without being perpetually interrupted by elections. Let me say at the outset that opposing views are not anti-national. మన పోకర్ సినిమా చెప్పింది యాంటీ-నేషనల్ కాలేదు. But supporting ONOE is not anti-federal or anti-democratic either. It's a call for institutional efficiency, democratic stability, and national coherence. India today is almost always in election mode. One state is under elections, another is under model code of conduct, a third is preparing for elections, and a fourth is recovering from elections. The question before us is, should the longest democracy in the world be permanently governed in installments? ONOE is not a new idea. From 1952 to 1967, India held simultaneous elections to
ప్రకారం 1951 నుంచి జరుగుతూ ఉంది. Merely because that an presidential governments have been formed under Article 352, మన కంటిన్యూటీ ఆఫ్ ఎలక్షన్ ప్రాసెస్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ డిస్రప్టెడ్. ఎప్పుడైతే 352 కింద 356 కింద గవర్నమెంట్ని క్యాన్సిల్ చేసేసి ఎలక్షన్ ప్రాసెస్ డిస్రప్ట్ అయిందో, దట్ ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ కరెక్టెడ్ బై సుప్రీం కోర్ట్ ఎస్ఆర్ బొమ్మాయి కేస్. ఎస్ఆర్ బొమ్మాయి కేసు తర్వాత మీరు గమనిస్తే ఇక్కడ ఈ 56 ఇన్వోకింగ్ చాలా తగ్గిపోయింది. అందువల్ల అన్లెస్ ఈ ఏదైతే గేమ్ ఎలక్షన్ గేమ్ ఉందో ఆ రూల్స్ని మనం సెంటర్ చేసుకోకుండా మన ఎమ్మెల్యేస్ ఎంపీ క్యాండిడేట్స్ వాళ్ళు ట్రూ టు దేర్ సాల్ట్ ఉంటేనే డెమోక్రసీ సర్వైవ్ అవుతుంది. మనందరికీ తెలుసు.
ఒక కమిటీని న్యాయమంత్రితో పాటు పెద్దలందరితో రిటైర్డ్ సిజేఐ చీఫ్ జస్టిస్ సలహాలు దృష్టిలో పెట్టుకొని మరి 16 పేజీల రిపోర్ట్ వారికి సమర్పించాలని న్యూస్ ద్వారా అంత మాత్రమే నాకు తెలుసు. వారు ఈ సబ్జెక్టులో ఇక్కడ చర్చించబడుతున్నప్పుడు ఈ ఒక నేషన్ ఒక ఎలక్షన్ అన్న సబ్జెక్ట్ ఇది ఒక రాజకీయ నినాదం కాదు. ఒక ప్రాంతీయ పొలిటికల్ పార్టీల యొక్క స్వార్థాల కోసము అపోజిట్ చేసేటువంటి సబ్జెక్ట్ కాదు. ఇది ఒక అనవసరమైన భారతదేశ ప్రభుత్వం మీద పడకుండా